Phil Konstantin is a Cherokee Nation citizen living in San Diego, California. It's hard to nail down exactly what Phil is best known for, an author, a highway patrolman, or jack of all trades. Most people say Phil is an interesting guy who's done a lot of cool stuff.
Travels with Phil. Hi, I'm Phil Konstantin.
So I've done lots of different things. I've had approximately 50 different types of jobs, not just 50 jobs, but 50 different types of jobs. Now, this is everything from doing construction work to I helped run the computers downstairs from Mission Control at NASA. I was a highway patrol officer for 20 years. I was a TV reporter for 11 some odd years. So I got to be fairly well known. I've written all kinds of magazine articles, written over 100 magazine and newspaper articles, written a couple of books. On this episode of Travels with Phil, we're going to be going to Old Town in San Diego and specifically looking at some of the Cherokee connections there. My name is Phil Konstantin, born in Houston, Texas, 1952, and the first child of Morris and Lila Konstantin. And it's been steadily downhill ever since. My mom was born in Tulsa, and that's where I get my Cherokee ancestry from. She grew up all over Oklahoma. Her running story was that whenever the rent came due, they moved. Grew up in the suburbs of Houston for about 27 years. Then in 1980, moved out to California, and I've been out here in California ever since. If you think of, America the Beautiful, Purple Mountain Majesty, Oceans White with Foam, everything in that song San Diego has except for the amber waves of grains. And we got avocados, so that's better. But first full-time job was running computers, and I worked for a mortgage company. And I found a little ad for a computer operator at the Johnson Space Center and put in the application, got it. While I was one of the smallest cog in the machine, but just for the sheer fact that I was part of this, I'm pretty proud of that. What got me interested in the highway patrol was that my dad had been in law enforcement most of my recollection as a child. It's not like the old TV show Chips, where you're out chasing people to disco music and people on roller skates and things like that. It's really, you're dealing with people who are in a bad situation. And sometimes it's incredibly serious. Sometimes it can be funny. I think it was Joseph Wambaugh talking about law enforcement. It says it's 98% boredom, punctuated by 1% of sheer terror. This is a picture of me and Robin, and she's the one all in white. And this is where when we got married in 1997, and this was up at Torrey Pines. She was a marine biologist, so she really enjoyed the sea life and the world out there, and I enjoy mountains and hills and stuff like that, so it was a really nice place to get married.
So here we go in the front door.
And so we had known each other, oh goodness, since the 70s, but we didn't get married until 1997. And unfortunately, she died a couple of years after this picture was taken. But this was a really nice day getting married there at Torrey Pines Reserve.
I'm a little bit east of Sierra Blanca in Texas. Is on this spot on April 6th, 1999. My wife, Robin, fell asleep while behind the wheel.
Robin fell asleep while she was driving, and she didn't survive the crash. I decided to try and see what I could do to help. So I started preparing statistics and facts, a website. I did a couple public service announcements.
Don't become a highway statistic. If you find yourself driving tired, stop. Get some exercise, get some coffee, or better yet, get some sleep.
Contacted a state senator, and he passed it through the state legislature that April 6th would be declared Drowsy Driver Awareness Day in California, which is the day that it happened. And now that was almost 21 years ago. Sometimes it's a little hard covering that territory again, but
Most Charlie Brown homophobe I've ever seen.
Something that I don't want to have to see it happen to anybody else. Being Cherokee to me says something about my family history. Because we know very, very little about any of my family's history. This is one of the few parts we can actually sort of trace back into history, not just for a few folks, for a few actual lineages, but look at the history of people that are related to me. And that's important to me. I really am proud of being Cherokee. This is my granddaughter, Jazzle, and I spend time with her. And my family here, my daughter, Sarah, and her husband, Vince, and Jazzle all live with me. And so I spent a lot of time doing things with them. That I never had a grandfather, and both of my grandmothers had gone by the time I was a teenager. So sharing time with her, but also watching her grow.
And the sign out front here says, Edward Wilkerson Bushyhead, early San Diego sheriff.
And maybe imparting a little wisdom as far as that's concerned, but we do have a good relationship. I think it would be nice that when I'm long gone, she'll still have some memories that she shared with an older member of her family. I finally retired when I was 64. I definitely like to stay busy. Between 2016 and 2017, 18 months, I traveled through 45 different states, about 65,000 miles, and about one photograph for every mile on average. And so I've been compiling videos, and so far I've done about maybe 3,000 videos on my YouTube page, which is Cherokee Phil is one word. Little shameless plug there, folks. I like that part of my ancestry is Cherokee, and that's important to me. And being a person who's really interested in history, I am really impressed by the history of the Cherokees. The San Diego Cherokee community has been organized since 2006. We're one of the, I believe, 25 official satellite communities. So I was one of the organizing members on the council, and we try to get together and share information, educate ourselves, make connections, and then every year the chief and a lot of the official folks from the tribe, and they'll come out once a year and visit, and that's a big part of it. The nice thing is that these are happening all around the country, and it's a really good way to connect. Every once in a while, someone new will come in and come to find out, here's some long-lost cousin you never even knew about.
And this little platform right here is where I married my wife Robin in 1997. So this spot has a lot of memories for me personally. And even if it wasn't a personal memory, it's, you can't beat the view. It's just gorgeous out here. I just really love it.
I can easily say the more I've learned, the more I know there is to learn. There's all kinds of things that happen in this very, very complex world, and there's a whole lot of gray out there. But I try to have a positive outlook on life.